Alright now, the evilest van life families on TikTok. Now this video is about like 8 months old, so I know I'm late to the party. I don't know what we about to see, but let's go ahead and check it out.
Kids sleep on the floor, but the parents have king-size bed, all inside a single van crammed with a family of 12. Add in pets, locked in cages, and children stuffed into actual shelves. This is just the beginning of TikTok's evilest van life families.
Okay.
And no one proves that better than the family of Caravan, who first went viral for one absurd reason.
I think it will be insanely weird if the family started out in a house and they could like afford 2-story, maybe even 3-story house. Nice spot, right? And they see that for content's sake, I think it would be better if I have 15 kids all in a van. Now that would be kind of fucked up.
Well, how do you even live? Well, the entire family lived in a single Airstream. The younger brother had a bunk under which 2 daughters slept, while another 3 shared a table converted to a bed. The baby had his crib, although another sibling had just a couch. Oof, the couch? That's rough.
The couch ain't even that rough, bro. Even at that age, I would have been cool with a couch.
But what wasn't rough was the massive bed the parents slept in. Still, the couch was an upgrade because the remaining 2 kids slept directly on the floor. I saw
Yeah, out of pocket. Yeah, out of pocket, bro.
On the couch and was like, damn, that's rough. And then I saw the literal child on the floor. Comically, after the backlash, the parents miraculously found a blow-up mat in the closet.
Bro.
Later revealing the van was just for a holiday, except the way the kids slept in their actual apartment was somehow even worse, though still definitely better compared to the red, white, and Bethune.
Man, you ain't even go into how it was worse, bro. Come on, man. Like, bro, what you doing, dog? I thought I was gonna get an explanation, man.
Over
Hell
50,000 people have agreed to call CPS on them, and their first viral video shows exactly why. The family lived in this bus, and their kids had bunk beds to sleep on.
Yeah.
Though, if you looked closely, they were really just shelves. I've seen prison cells bigger than this. If space was a currency, these kids would be bankrupt.
I mean, this is kind of like how them tiny homes be looking on the inside. It's cheap, doesn't require that much, upkeep as a regular home. But when you get to your bed, bro, you got a small amount of space where you could like really stretch your body out. Like for me, I'm a spread eagle type of nigga. I got a queen size bed, bro. I need to hit the YMCA on that motherfucker. I cannot do this with this van shit. Only on hard times would I even go to this. But I feel like with some of these creators, bro, they be going to it because there's already been popular families that got probably a good amount of views every single video because of just the van life itself. And it was like, yeah, let me go and hop on this trend.
Other lay on one, defending it as spacious. Meanwhile, the parents, of course, had a king-size bed.
Why we put a king-size bed in our bus is because it's our lounging area.
But the kids,
Nigga, nah.
didn't even get a ladder, just some grips on the shelves. And instead of a proper desk, they had this tiny table for studying because the only real one was reserved for editing TikToks. And as if living like that wasn't already punishment, they were actually punished and humiliated online for not helping with the van.
Molly chose not to do her chores. And if our kids don't do their chores, they have consequences.
I mean, I had the same shit too.
Yet according to the father, it was completely justified.
Yes, our kids have consequences. Yes, if they don't do the chores, they're gonna have to pay.
And to the trolls, keep on talking shit.
I just want to see what chores that they didn't do. Because it looked like she washing dishes now. So I'm assuming that from this vid, she didn't wash the dishes before. And now you got your little kid on camera washing dishes. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't understand the idea of just letting everybody know what you got going on. Like, I give people a good amount of information about certain things that have happened in my life. I couldn't even imagine if I was younger and my mom wanted to be like a social media personality, and every time I didn't do a chore, or every time I forgot a project, or not really forgot but procrastinated on a project, she made me do a punishment and recorded it on live video. Why would you put your child in that situation to be humiliated like that, bro? It don't make sense.
And I'm gonna keep on posting.
But this was just the beginning of the problems, because they had another van for holidays and somehow it was even worse. This one had 2 tiny bunk beds and a couch where one of the kids had to sleep, because once again, the main bed was for the parents. And if it seemed like the kids didn't have space, they also had 4 massive dogs crammed inside cages. Why do you have dogs when even your kids don't have space? And that wasn't wrong. Their bathroom didn't even
probably had dogs before the van life idea even came to their head. They was with the dogs, man. I think they probably transitioned from an apartment to a van. Like I think that's the only natural transition that I could see. It's not even a natural transition because you going from a spot that had a little bit more space. An apartment probably wasn't even that big, but a little bit more space to like literally no space. Your kids don't even have your own room. Or if they were sharing a room in their hypothetical apartment, they probably had way more square footage. You go from the bed to the bathroom in 2 seconds, smelling all that dookie, bro.
And that wasn't wrong. Their bathroom didn't even have a door, which all 5 of them used regularly.
What'd I say? Smell like straight ass.
It's bad for the kids, yet it seemed like the parents didn't care much. Unlike the family of nomads, who were considered the only van family with enough space, since their RV had everything a house needed, plus obviously a king-size bed for the parents.
Okay.
And no surprise,
So we got a reoccurring theme here. Make sure the kids have 0 space at all. We're going to take up half the size of the van to make sure our king size bed is able to fit. Fuck them kids. They can sleep on the shelves, the floor, the toilet, all I care. But the king size bed, that's a must.
people called it the dream life, until they posted this video. It gave a tour of the kids' room, and the strange part being that their oldest daughter, Addison, was a teenager. Addison has no privacy, I can tell. What's the point of a nice van if your teenager still doesn't get privacy? Well, after all the backlash, they added these curtains.
I'm pretty certain there's no such thing as a 4-bedroom camper, but we did install these curtains over each of their bunks so they have a little bit of privacy.
But this was just the tip of the iceberg. All 3 kids were homeschooled, but in the name of education, it mostly meant roaming around national parks because the parents believed that was better than going to school.
So I'm assuming that they was like still doing something on the iPad and the computer as far as schooling. And then you add on the additional park visits and travels. I'm assuming that's what that is, man. Because if you're here to tell me that all their learning comes from being out in the nature, which, you know, there's a good amount of nature to learn from, right? That's how the caveman started. But yeah, if you're telling me that's the crevice of all their learning, y'all out of pocket.
Field trip. And so a lot of what the kids do is by learning from experience. So for example, today we went to a national park and they completed the junior ranger program, and it's incredible.
Hey, what about like learning history? I'm not even gonna say math because that was the first thing that came to my head. As long as you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you're good. As soon as they started adding letters to the bitch, yeah, it was raps. History though, I think niggas need to know history. I think biology, so science is a must. A little bit of English, like language arts and stuff like that. I think all that's important, man. Especially when you're trying to fill out a resume. You learn a lot of that shit from just being in language arts class. You don't know how to write nothing from just going to a park. Like, bro, come on, man. Y'all gotta do better.
Also, they're learning history from visiting different places around the country and seeing and experiencing things.
But the textbook is important. You going to these different spots and different places is just only limited history. I do feel like it is going deeper than a textbook would. Let's just say if we're just talking or reading about a place in Italy versus going to that same place in Italy, I think there is more that you can get out of being in that place and learning about that place. Even with that, it's like, are you going to visit every historical place? Also, even if you go to that spot, there's a limited amount of things that you're probably going to be able to see and do in a day. In a textbook, you could list out all the motherfucking facts you need to know about a city. You need to know about the wars a country has been through. You list out all the facts you need to know. And when you go to that bitch, you'll learn about the culture. You learn about the people more than you probably would know in a textbook. But there's a limit to what you can do in a day. It's only 24 hours. Bro, you got to put a textbook in their head, bro.
I feel like they retain more of the information that way. So we do school year round, and days that we are not going out and exploring, they do a traditional homeschool curriculum. And then the days that we're exploring, we still count those as school as well.
So only American history.
Say it again.
Curriculum, school year round, and days that we are retain more of the information that way. So we do school year round.
That's
and
not
days
school.
That we are not going out and
You are
exploring,
learning.
They do a traditional homeschool curriculum, and then
But
the
that's
days that
not
we're
school.
exploring, we still count those as school as well.
So only American history? LOL. These kids will struggle with social skills. School isn't just about studying, yet the parents' focus was on life skills, like teaching how to clean a nasty rat cage.
We live in a camper and our 3 kids have 3 pet rats, and I would be absolutely lying to you if I said that it does.
I'm not gonna knock any pet, but a rat. Y'all couldn't have picked like a small dog, a cat or something. You literally picked a rodent that's going to smell in that limited space that y'all got for y'all living quarters. You are outrageous. A rat. And you said 3 of them? I guarantee you, if I came out the womb of this lady right here, I would be like, send me back. Talking about rats. I gotta take care of rats. I gotta name some rats. I gotta feed some rats, bitch.
Not smell bad. Usually it's
What about the rabies?
the kids' job to clean the rat cage, but about once every month or 2, my husband and I will clean it, and it just gets really gross.
Naturally, people concluded Addison wasn't exactly happy, especially when this is what she asked for on her birthday.
For Addison's 15th birthday, the only thing they wanted was to go to a hotel.
Addison mentions liking doors in the video twice, a hint of them having less privacy in the camper. Although the mother tried to defend everything by posting this.
A lot of people ask us if the kids actually enjoy traveling full-time and living in the camper, and I will have to say that while we were at the RV show in Tampa this week, Grace and Addison both went around and looked at campers because their plan is when they move out, they want to live in a camper together and travel the country.
Okay.
The reality was much darker. I'm a teen in a full-time RV vlogging family, and I hate it. I hate being home.
So is he alleging that this is the little girl that's part of this family or some shit? Not the little girl, but like the teenager?
Homeschooled. I hate not having a social life. I hate having so little privacy. We travel full time. I know it sounds like a dream. I thought so too, but it's an effing nightmare. 90% of our time is spent inside the RV, which is a living hell in itself.
Yeah, I don't think I would like the idea of being cooped up in that small space. I think some people can do it. I think forcing it on your kids, not knowing if they're going to rock with it like that, is weird. Especially if you can afford a bigger accommodation. And I'm pretty certain that if we talking about it on a YouTube video, and if I'm reacting to that said YouTube video, they getting enough views to rent out an apartment. Your kids is the main priority, man. You got enough money, we can get an apartment. Now, is that gonna mess up the bread? Probably. That's probably gonna mess up the content, because the content, you know, was the van life shit, and the apartment life shit doesn't really hit as hard as van life shit, and you ain't gonna get millions of views on that shit. But look, your objective is making sure your kids are straight, making sure they got enough space, making sure they feel good about themselves.
It's all fake, by the way. I'm frustrated all the time, tired all the time, bored all the time. Please stop supporting these channels. It's ruined my life, and I can't say anything about it. The poster later revealed they were the oldest of 3 siblings, aged between 15 and 17, which made many assume it was Addison from the family of no.
I mean, we don't know if it's really her, but I mean, it won't surprise me if she actually feels this way.
Who actually made the post was never confirmed, although there was still plenty of evidence that it was Addison.
Addison has struggled with their mental health for many years. Addison is currently back in treatment and won't be in her for many years.
There was still plenty of evidence that it was Addison.
Addison has struggled with their mental health.
Addison has struggled with their mental health. Well, we know what the problem is now. It's them pronouns. That's
for many years. Addison is currently back in treatment and won't be in our content during this time. To protect Addison during this time, we would like to ask for privacy on this matter.
Okay.
I always knew the van thing was what the mom wanted, not the kids, especially Addison. Understandably, people wanted Addison herself to share the real story, but no one expected it to actually happen. In a now deleted TikTok, Addison finally revealed what life was really like. The first massive red flag was...
Disclaimer, I was made to sign an NDA by my... Oh my God. Yo mama? Your mama forced you to sign a what? Oh, an NDA. Stating that I could not talk about her on the internet. But I feel she has breached it already, so here I am. Listen, your mama is deranged. And your dad, for that matter. Is your dad in the picture? Both the parents was like, let's make sure none of the kids got privacy. Let's make sure none of the kids have social skills. And they don't experience shit outside of the RV, man.
I signed an NDA by my mom, saying I couldn't talk about her on the internet. But wait, it gets even worse. She said her mom used her mental health as an excuse to switch to van life, while Addison thought it was just a short vacation, not something permanent.
To start, maybe for like a couple days or like maybe a couple weeks, maybe just go camping, but not for 3 years.
Ooh.
On top of that, Addison's health problems were...
That's why they switched to van life? Her mental health? So you mean to tell me when your daughter was going through something, you decided to pick up the camera and just record? You got attention and was like, you know what? I know what our intention was when we set out to do this. Make sure our daughter is good. But fuck all of that. I see them views. I see the numbers going up. We got to continue this van life shit. Are you mentally good, girl? Girl? You mentally good? You get good? Oh, you're not? Guess what? The views are popping. Too bad.
In the van.
Camping full time as a child, depression, anxiety, autism, those kinds of things was not a very good mix.
As a result, her condition got even worse, and eventually she was diagnosed with an ED. Yet despite knowing all of this, the mother still chose to do nothing.
My mom easily, in my opinion, could have noticed. She did notice, in fact, that I was struggling, and she chose not to do anything about it until I came clean to her.
After finally getting treatment, as expected, she ended up with even more social issues later on.
And I ended up not having many friends. I ended up not being able to learn how to take care of myself. I ended up having terrible social anxiety.
I feel like if you in the RV life, that's the one thing you should know how to do though. Take care of yourself. What you teaching your kids in the first place then? If you gonna go this route, bro, you better teach them. I thought that was the point of the RV. They learn some life skills. Obviously, she's still a teenager, right? As soon as that 18th birthday comes, she running away.
To this day, I still have terrible social anxiety. I was not able to develop that part of my life, living in a camper.
Addison has since vanished from the videos completely. Following that, the parents also quit van life and are now divorced, with the mother now identifying as a lesbian.
Dang. What the fuck? Just hit me with a triple combo, bro. Girl ain't even in the videos no more. They stopped those videos and they divorced. And she lesbian. Something about them pronouns, y'all. I'm not saying that was the reason for all the bullshit, but I'm just saying it's a little seed that was planted when you say that there. It's a little seed that was planted. It was planted into my brain, and I figured out the whole problem. It was her. This is the problem of the situation.
Meanwhile, Addison has left her mother.
Now the dad's the problem too. Like the dad, I mean, he divorced probably the lady for a reason now. But the dad should have stopped this a long time ago. He should have thought to himself, hey, my little girls ain't gonna be in no van. Especially if we can do better. We know we can do better. My little girls ain't gonna be in no van. My little girls, if I'm a dad, bro, my little girls ain't gonna be videotaped all the time.
And now lives with her grandparents. But not all van life kids were that lucky, especially the kids from the Wild Thorn Baileys.
All right.
The family of 6 lived in this RV and first went viral for how terribly small their kids' beds were. Those kids are gonna have a hard time in there. How is this even acceptable? All 4 kids slept in the same...
I'm gonna be honest with you though. Regular bunk beds ain't got that much more space than this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be dead ass, bro. The room gonna be small regardless. Regular bunk bed. These beds ain't even that bad, bro. I don't even see the problem with this one. I mean, I probably would if I was watching the whole video of, you know, what the family uploaded. But the way this bed is, this look like a good sized bed for this little girl. She don't look like it. That ain't too bad over there either. I mean, the only problem with bunk beds and the top bunk is just how close you is to the ceiling. And that was what I was worried about when I was staying at my cousin's house a couple times. He had a bunk bed. I slept on the top. I was worried about just shooting up way too fast and my head, boom, gone. Concussion. Nah, that was my biggest fear. But this don't even look bad, bro.
Cramped room.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
While of course the parents had
obviously you will probably want more space in the middle right here, especially between the beds, but this ain't that bad, bro. Apartment rooms are this small. I seen
Kids
apartment
slept
rooms
in
this
the
small,
same
man.
cramped room on the same beds.
The
while, of
beds
course,
are
the
a
parents
decent
had a massive
size with
bed
this.
and full privacy. That same month, they renovated their entire RV, but the kids' sleeping situation didn't improve at all. What kind of renovation is this? At least give them a bigger room.
Yeah.
They have no space. They responded to the backlash in the cringiest way imaginable.
RV kids have all the space in the entire country.
Man, ain't nobody talking about this bullshit. Yeah, man. Look, they have the entire world because we travel all the time. Nigga, I'm talking about they live in quarters, bro. Ain't nobody talking about this bullshit.
It just doesn't look like the...
Oh yeah, homeless people got more space than RV kids. Yeah, they have all the space in the world, man. Look at all the homeless people, man. They have the whole entire world, bro. Look at their land. Look at the land of the homeless people, man. That's what this is giving off, man.
Isolated box that you call a bedroom. And a fish can only grow as big as the tank it lives in.
Ma'am, the outside isn't their bedroom. To make matters worse, privacy came from some curtains in their tiny room. And even after all the criticism, the mother kept defending it.
All the time, and a lot of times people assume. So thank you for asking and not just saying, oh.
Yeah, but what about teenage years, privacy, etc.? What she was saying to this comment?
From some curtains in their tiny room. And even after all the criticism, the mother kept defending it.
All the time, and a lot of times people assume. So thank you for asking and not just
I can't tell.
Oh, but they don't have any privacy.
I can't tell.
Our number one answer is always communication and boundaries. An example of that would be Ellie today.
Imagine like one of these van life family have like a kid that's like Wimby size. What are they doing then? I mean, the first thing that they're probably thinking of is like, well, who's the actual dad? If the dad didn't have no problem being in the van because he wasn't that tall, like how the kid get this tall? We don't even have a house. Can't even blame the mailman. Can't even. I don't know who you about to blame, bro. You ain't about to blame nobody. But they can't have no tall kids in this shit, man. Because imagine you on the top bunk or even the bottom bunk. It don't even matter what bunk you on. But imagine your feet all the way to the wall and your head all the way to this other wall. You literally got no space because you're literally that long. You gotta be short in these van life videos.
Have some alone time. So Josh took all three of the kids to the pool, and I am outside while she got alone time in the RV. She basically had the entire RV to herself for an hour and a half.
Wow, an entire hour and a half. Kids need stability, and this life is not stable. But wait, their education was even more unstable. They described it as road schooling, world schooling, or homeschooling.
I mean, just like all the other families. Just ain't no different.
Yet didn't follow any real structure. Instead, just learned from other families and museums.
Kids have learned so much from other nomadic families. Like one of our daughter's best friends is teaching her Spanish and more about her culture. Constantly visiting historical monuments, science museums, and national parks. They aren't going to have to go through that college phase of trying to figure out what they want, who they are, and what career they even want to do.
I wonder how visiting museums...
I mean, I think they're still gonna have to go through that. Just because I see the world doesn't mean I know who I am. I just know more about the world, but I don't really, I haven't dove into who I really am. Those are two totally different things. Like, I feel like just because I've been to a couple countries, I just know more about different cultures. I just know more about different people. I just know more about probably different types of facts and historical backgrounds and shit like that. But that doesn't mean my future is secure. Oh, just like what this comment said, that ain't got nothing to do with what my career gonna be. That ain't got nothing unless on one of the trips I find out or I get an interest because I met somebody with a particular career and I was just inspired by that person and I just follow suit in his or her footsteps. This ain't got nothing to do with my future. If that's not the case, this ain't got nothing to do with my path is going to be in life. So I don't know what she's talking about,
guarantees a secure future, which isn't entirely wrong. But if you set the criticism aside, at least their kids were learning something. Unfortunately, the same couldn't be said for wild family life. For starters, the family met a homeless junkie on the street who now lives in the van with her three.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not only are we living in a van, we invited homeless people are people. right? Let me phrase what I'm about to say very carefully. I'm not saying not to be good natured to people that are struggling in times, because you know times is struggling are the times, right? You already live in a small space. You won't add this big dude to the picture. If it was a family member that was homeless, it probably won't even be that bad. But you added a random stranger to the group, to the small space that we already have. You added in a whole nother body that we don't know. And I know you only doing it for the clicks. I know you're only doing it for the clicks, bro. Because it will be better for the homeless person if y'all just give him a hotel, make sure he get a haircut, and try to do a couple resumes for him. That would be better for him. Not just living with y'all and being part of the content. Put him in the position that he can now take care of himself. You putting him in this content shit ain't got nothing to do with him like being able to stand on his own 2 feet.
Kids and her ex-husband. Homeless boyfriend and ex-husband living together.
Ex-husband? Oh my. What is she on, bro? She trying to hit all the tags. She trying to hit all the YouTube hashtags that you can get to get the views, bro. Hey, I don't know how she gonna title this video. Me and my 3 girls are living with a homeless guy and an ex-husband.
With your 3 kids?
Homeless boyfriend?
Interesting, for sure. But it gets even more
so it's
bizarre.
not a stranger?
Everyone lives inside this van, and here's where the kids sleep.
This is basically my son's room. We can separate that. We do it with a blanket. We could build something as well if he wishes, or this privacy, blah blah blah. My daughter, she played earlier.
She got sure.
Has here box with Lego. This box is her messy box. There she.
That's not an Australian accent. Wait, what accent is that? Hey, if y'all see this video, what accent is this?
Just squeezes in everything, and in the evenings before she goes to bed, that's also her bed up here, she cleans that up so she has bed.
The ex-husband sleeps up front while the boyfriend and the mom share the back, separated from the kids by just a blanket. And when people criticize the lack of privacy and how cramped the space was, she said,
that shit gotta be musty. That's all I can think about when they had their mouth open like this, bro. That shit gotta be the most stinkiest place that ever rolled by. It gotta be like one of those places when you driving in your car going to work or going to any spot and you run through that small like area that smell like dead animals. These are the niggas. These are the niggas that you are smelling on your way to work. You're like, what the fuck is that? Yeah, it's a homeless guy, an ex-husband, and a deranged girl with her kids all living in the same spot.
The lack of privacy and how cramped the space was, she said, we have the biggest front yard. Lots of quiet, lonely places around to go our separate ways.
Get this bullshit out of my face, man. All right.
I think this is how kids go into depression. Yet the mother defended everything by saying this.
People think, oh, poor children. But trust me, my children, they wake up with a smile in their face. They go to bed with a smile in their face.
But that wasn't even the biggest criticism. The kids were homeschooled, but the mother only helped them if needed, as they didn't follow any
what does that mean?
Real program. Instead, they followed this.
Technically, I don't follow any curriculum. We have this app my kids learning with. They set their times each day. They do that by themselves. There's nothing I have to do. They really take their devices by themselves, sit down and learn. Sometimes they write, like when they have to write something, and they sit down and write. They have their booklet.
There's nothing.
Ain't you supposed to be the parent? I don't think there's nothing wrong with you homeschooling off of a website. I can't even be too certain every parent will be a great homeschool teacher for their kids, but to not even check up on what they're doing on this said app, to not even check up if they're actually doing the curriculum off this app, I think that's just outrageous, because it's like, how do you even know they're signing in to this shit? It don't even look like you checking up on them. Even if you are, why are you so passive with what they're learning?
Thing I have to do. Preparing kids to go homeless through homeschooling. Fixed it. And when people doubled down, warning how this could seriously affect the kids' futures, the mother responded with this.
The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion.
Unsurprisingly, it didn't help at all. And this single comment pretty much captures all of these families. This is the life parents want, not the kids. Kids are just dragged along with no education, no privacy, no space, and end up with serious social and mental issues later on.
For sure. This was a very strange video, and I think we learned a lot. what we learned, make sure parents have a king size bed and the little kids sleep on the floor. I'll see y'all later.